Hey everyone, welcome to patch 3.2C tier list, where I will be talking about the best solo queue champions for the patch, and this would be the last tier list before we get into the elemental rift. So without further ado, let's get into it. Going to the tier list, we'll start from the bottom, going to the top. So in the C tier, these are the types of champions that can jungle but are not suited to the current meta. For example, Mundo, with the abundance of anti-healing and high damage, his tankiness would not be able to keep up. And another one with Malphite, his clear is very slow. Even though his ganks may be strong with the usage of his ultimate, he is too ultimate reliant, wherein if you don't have your ultimate, you would have a hard time using this champion. Then in the B tier, these are the champions that generally have slow clears and are very team dependent. One exception to this is Shyvana, because she has good carry potential, decent clear. The only problem is that she is very team dependent, wherein she is strong when your team is ahead, but she is very weak when your team is behind. So she has a hard time if your team is behind, but with the next update, she would not be dragon reliant, which would probably put her in a higher tier. Other than Shyvana is Fizz, wherein he is very snowball reliant, wherein you need to get an early lead to become effective. If you get behind with Fizz jungle, then you wouldn't be able to do much. Aside from these two champions would be Amumu, Nautilus, Ramos, Darius, and Shen, wherein they have generally slow to decent clears, but are very team reliant with the initiation that you could possibly give. Even though you have good initiation, you would still need a team to follow up on it. After this, we would go to the A tier, where these are strong junglers but have very visible weaknesses. So two junglers that I want to highlight are Morgana and Xin Zhao. Morgana has one of the best early game clears with all of the double camps that she can do, good crowd control on her kit, and good scaling into the late game as well. The only problem is that she has a hard time when she doesn't have a follow-up on her kit, as well as she needs a front line to be able to last long in a team fight. And in Xin Zhao, he has also the potential to become S tier because he has good clear, strong ganks, high burst, and good tankiness, especially when it comes to the late game. Aside from these two champions, all of the other champions listed have visible weaknesses. For example, Echo, even though you have a beast late game, strong burst could possibly one-shot the carry. The problem is getting there. His early to mid game is not the best and would need time to scale. Vi is an all-in champion. If you make a mistake with your all-in, you could easily get punished for it. Camille is dependent on your early game. You need to have a good early game to be able to use her effectively. If you fall behind with Camille, you would have a hard time. Diana is a scaling champion wherein she would have a strong late game, but her early to mid game is not that strong as compared to the meta junglers. Pantheon is the total opposite, wherein you need to have a good early game to become effective. If you fall behind early game, then you would have a hard time when using this champion. Jace is also similar, wherein you need to have a good early to mid game so that your poke would be effective, as well as being able to burst the opponents easily. Gragas has a strong late game, but his early to mid is not the best, wherein he needs time to scale properly. Irelia is actually a good champion all around, early, mid, late. The biggest problem of this champion is that you need to have a frontline or someone to start a fight for you. She can't go in first because she is quite squishy and would be easily punished if you're not careful. The best thing to do with her is to always wait for someone else to initiate. Then we have Jarvan, jack of all trades, master of none. He can do everything. He can tank, DPS, CC, decent clear, can take objectives, but he has no specialty, which is why he is in the A tier, because he is good at everything but doesn't specialize in anything. Then we have Master Yi. He has the potential to become a beast late game, but his problem is getting to that point wherein his early to mid is not that strong as compared to the other meta junglers. Tryndamere in the same boat, strong late game, weak early game. Graves also another champion that is very team reliant. Even though he has a strong late game, you need to have a good front line as well as good crowd control so you would be able to hit freely in a team fight. Seth has a really strong early game. The only problem is that he lacks a bit of damage ever since the nerf and would need to have a team to follow up on his engage. Fiora has a beast late game, but her early to mid is not that strong. She would spike most after 3 items, and getting to that point is not an easy task in solo queue. Evelynn also very similar to Fiora. Even though her ganks are strong, she has a strong late game. The problem is that Evelynn is ulti reliant, and with the control wards implemented in the game, she would have a hard time roaming around the map, but her ganks are still very strong. Then we go to the S tier. These champions generally have good clears, strong ganks, and have the potential to carry the game. So one example that I highlighted here is Olaf. He could even possibly be a S+ tier depending on his team comp. If he has shields on his team such as Yuumi, Lulu, or even Shen, then he could go to the S+ tier. But even though he doesn't have those types of champions, he's still in the S tier because he counters a lot of the meta champions that have a lot of stuns, as well as having strong potential to carry games, especially if you get a good early game. So other champions in this category are Rengar, wherein he has good gank, damage, and can tank. When ahead, he could possibly go for damage, he could go for tankiness, and has the potential to carry the game. Riven also the same situation, wherein she is good all stages of the game, and has good scaling potential as well. So two junglers that may not be in this position, but are in the S tier are Wukong and Nunu. So Wukong before was very ulti dependent, but ever since the Sunder and the buffs that he has received, he has been very effective in the jungle. His clear has been improved a lot. His duels are strong, and his team fights are very strong as well. S tier team fight champions, Wukong and Nunu, are one of the best right now because of the tankiness and utility that they can give. If you want the best tank jungler, for me right now is Nunu because he has strong damage early game and is very tanky in the later stages of the game. Sunfire is an OP item because it scales with HP, and Nunu's an item that benefits a lot if you get a lot of HP. Hey everyone, big announcement here. My friends and I are doing a huge giveaway as a way of saying thank you to the wildrift community. Master Els, Mirmo, and I are going to be giving away skins and wild cores for the next few weeks. Right, Master Els?
It's Master Els, baby!
And Mirmo?
Oh, shit!
All you have to do is like the video and leave a comment below, and we'll pick out winners every week. Make sure to hit subscribe to my channel for more updates. And don't forget to check out Master Els and Mirmo as well. Links can be found in the description below. Last but not the least would be the S+ tier, wherein these are the best junglers right now with little to no counterplay, as well as can be blind picked every game. Here we have the new big three, which is Lee Sin, Jax, and Kha'Zix. Lee Sin, for obvious reason, S+ tier ever since he has been released. He has everything a jungler can dream of. His only weakness is yourself. You need to be mechanically good with this champion to be able to use him efficiently. Then we go with Jax, late game scaling monster. He has crowd control, gap close, split push potential, tankiness, DPS, burst, you name it. Jax has it all, especially once you get to the late game. The only problem is that his early game is not the best, but he could easily scale with 1 to 2 items, and if your opponent makes a mistake, you get a shutdown, then Jax could just take over the game. Then our new S+ champion would be Kha'Zix. The reason why is that he suits well in the meta right now, wherein everyone is picking squishy champions, and Kha'Zix is the perfect champion to counter all of those squishy targets. So what's good about Kha'Zix is that he has good objective control, could easily one-shot all of the carries with one item, and could take over the game. Really good utility as well with the second or third evolve. So what I do with Kha'Zix is that I evolve third if I have a good early game. If I'm even or behind, I could evolve my second because his second provides a lot of utility and is really good for poking the opponents, putting them low, allowing your team to damage them, and you would be able to finish up once you have your combo. And that concludes my 3.2C tier list. So if you have any feedback, feel free to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more updates. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.
I'm finally facing it all, fearless.